Howdy. This is my number 4 in my series of breakfast tea and bourbon riddle. Let's see if we can figure this out. And number 4 in my inspiration. And this video is going to be about riddles. And I was working on that breakfast tea and bourbon riddle for a long time, and at a certain point you get desperate and you start going to Google and you say how to solve a riddle, and you put that into Google. And one of the things it did, it sent me to this WikiHow, and I will put this in the description below. How to solve riddles. Boy, that sounds like that'll be really helpful. They go through a big long thing with these nice sketches in there, different kinds of riddles, how to solve them. You just need to break them down into pieces. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'm going to go through a couple of things that I thought would be kind of interesting and inspired me anyways to look at the breakfast tea and bourbon riddle a different way. Here it talks about two different types. There's the kinds enigma riddles that require creativity, conundrums that require some type of wordplay or puns. But let me scroll down here. One of the things I found interesting, and this WikiHow goes through a particular type of riddle and how to break it down, is that you look at the actions in the riddle. In this one, the verb was goes. And think about the actions in the riddle. Think about the actions in the riddle. If you look at our riddle, we only have one verb, and the verb is fly. Now, seems pretty straightforward for a verb, but fly not only means traveling through the air, it can also mean you're flying a flag up a flagpole, which is a nice potential reference for a 4-inch by 4-inch area. You also fly a kite. There may be other things related to fly. What I'm trying to get you to realize is that this one simple little verb might be one of the keys to figuring out the riddle. And I thought that was kind of interesting here. Another thing that I noticed down here, I'm going to scroll down a little more, is that riddles can kind of trick you into thinking in a different way, in where you're thinking one thing, but they actually mean another. And you have to kind of put that in your brain, is that sometimes a riddle is trying to push you one way and then it's really another one. And in this WikiHow, I thought it was kind of an interesting one, is that riddles will sometimes try to trick you. And they gave me an example down here. And the example was, I am thinking of a particular 4-letter word, ends in K, and it means intercourse. A particular 4-letter word that ends in K, and it means intercourse. Now, of course, the word I'm thinking is talk. That's what you were thinking too. I know. But potentially you could have been thinking another, not likely, but potentially you were thinking of a different word. But the word I was thinking of for intercourse, and the one that the WikiHow was talk. So just be aware that sometimes you're thinking one thing really means another one. Another WikiHow that I came up, and again, this will be in the description box below, how to write a riddle. And maybe to become better at figuring out riddles is maybe you create your own riddles and try to make them up for your friends and family or to stump someone else. I'm going to scroll down here. And, I'll skip it for this one. One of the things they do is, the riddle they're trying to create is for a pencil. And one of the things they do is they try to personify the solution, meaning you're trying to take your solution to the riddle, and you're trying to make it an item appear human. So for this pencil, one of the things they were trying to come up with for riddle is, I wear a rosy hat but have no head. I'm sharp but have no brain. I can say anything, but will never speak a word. So here, and you can see how I'm sort of relating this to ours. They're taking this pencil, an object, and they're personifying it by saying, I wear a rosy hat but have no head. Well, if you look back at the start of our riddle, it starts off with I fly, personifying perhaps an object. You know, I mentioned in a previous video that I fly could be pilot, but it could also be a personification of an object. So nothing is quite like what it seems. So what is another way we can improve our riddle abilities in figuring out this breakfast tea and bourbon riddle? Well, one of the things is just to try different types of puzzles. Could be crossword puzzles, cryptic crossword puzzles, could be Sudokus or something else. One of the things we can do is to look at riddles and just try to figure out ones that we don't know of. Here's one. When I am alive, I do not speak. Anyone who wants to takes me captive. Anyone who wants to takes me captive and cuts off my head. They bite my bare body. I do no harm to anyone unless they cut me first. Then I soon make them cry. So you're taking some riddles and you're trying to come up with a solution. We're trying to improve our ability to what I like to call think outside the box. Another term that I've seen used is to improve our lateral thinking. So with this riddle, when I am alive, I do not speak. Anyone who wants to takes me captive and cuts off my head. They bite my bare body. I do no harm to anyone unless they cut me first. Then I soon make them cry. The answer, if you haven't figured it out, is an onion. That's not bad. That's a pretty good. They call it a longer riddle. It gives you lots of information. And now that you know the solution, you can sort of see where it leads you to onion. And there are plenty of other riddles with their solutions on the internet. Just look them up. One of the things they tell you to do is to try to look at ones that you know the answers, and then maybe you can start getting better at riddles where you don't know the answers. And here I'm going to tell you about a website I found called riddlewot.com. riddlewot.com. What it is, it's a collection of riddles. You sign up. You don't have to sign up, but I recommend you sign up. They just need an email address. They don't send you any junk mail or anything. And they have a collection of almost 10,000 different riddles. And all of these riddles were put in by users just like you and me. How they get put in is there is what they call a front page riddle. As soon as you put in riddlewot.com, there'll be a riddle right on the front page. And it tells you how many characters there are. You can type them in, submit an answer. And if you get the riddle right, you then have the ability to then create a riddle. And that riddle will then be put on the front page. So the main goal, the main sort of imperative for you to work on them is when you first get to the website is to try to figure out the front page riddle, because then if you do that, then you can put your own riddle. Now, I myself, I'm not confident enough yet to put in my own riddle. I'm trying to get better at solving them first. But in addition to this, they have a whole backlog of those 10,000 riddles where the answer is not easy to come by. There's not sort of a thing you got to unhide and then figure it out. And there's even help if you need the help. There's a type of currency, Riddlewot coins in there, where let's say if you solve some riddles, you'll build up your coins, and then you can get things like you can ask for the first letter, for example. Let's see, it's around here somewhere. Not quite sure where it is, but you can ask for the first letter, for example. And they also have sort of a list of everybody who's gotten it right so far for this front page. Let's see, 2 people out of the 6 guesses have got it right and they give you a percentage, and it's got all the sort of metric data in there that can be kind of interesting. See how good you are, see how bad you are. It even includes some incorrect guesses. Looks like some of these were just sort of not really guesses, but sometimes that'll help you solve it. And so this is my first time. Nobody has ever seen me yet. Nobody has ever seen me yet. I don't even exist, but I'll always be there. The answer has 8 characters. Nobody has ever seen me yet. I don't exist. I don't even exist, but I'll always be there. Well, for the purposes of this, I'm not just going to sit here and you can listen to me think and watch the gears go. I'm going to go down here. Oh, there's a hint. Here's the first letter. I'm going to go ahead and buy this. It's going to cost me coins. Let's do it. I don't have enough coins. Uh-oh. Oh well. So I think this is a sort of a neat way to get better at solving riddles, is just solve more riddles. Every once in a while I'll come here and sort of kill 10 minutes and look at it. But I recommend this website. I'll put it also in the description box below. And get riddling. Let's see if we can solve this breakfast tea and bourbon riddle. We are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven. That which we are, we are. One equal temper of heroic might, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will. To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Have a good one, everyone.